When we talk about digital marketing in Africa, we have to start from the definition of marketing, which is essentially uncovering, creating, and delivering value to customers and to various stakeholders. And when we look at how this value can be delivered through digital channels, then we actually have to look at the ecosystem of digital channels, starting with the mobile phone, because it's probably, in terms of trend, the fastest growing type of digital tool that we will see here in Africa and globally actually. And we see that by 2025, half of the African population, that is over 615 million Africans, will have a mobile connection, which is a significant leap forward when you look at the current numbers. And then we also see that 28% of these, that is over a quarter of these, will actually have access to 4G connectivity, and 3% will have access to 5G connectivity. This is actually quite telling when you consider that 5G connectivity, for instance, is not anywhere currently. So the growth trends are quite strong. Now, when you look at the users of the mobile ecosystem, you have to think about mobile money. In 2020, over $490 billion worth of transactions took place in sub-Saharan Africa's mobile money platforms. So this should give us a sense of how significant this ecosystem is. Now, when we talk about the ecosystem, then we look at the enabling platforms. And in sub-Saharan Africa, you have to think about the demographics we have. We have urban demographics and we have rural demographics. And we see that rural demographics are not left outside of the digital marketing ecosystem. We see brands using value-added services such as bulk SMSs and as well as callback tunes to communicate and to engage with various stakeholders. You go to your favorite local restaurant. When you leave, they stay in contact with you through their bulk SMS system, asking you for your own feedback. It works like a charm to keep the customer feeling valued and feeling engaged with. With the callback tunes, you can call your favorite local tailor and hear a pre-recorded advertisement of their shop as their phone rings. These are all strong trends that we are likely to see continuing. We are also seeing in that same ecosystem the e-commerce world going into rural areas where you would think, since they don't have strong internet penetration, they don't have strong internet connections, maybe they won't get access to e-commerce, but that's not the case. We have companies like Copia that are giving access to rural communities in terms of mainstream lifestyle products. You can go to your local shop and find that they can place an order for you from a mainstream platform. So that grandmother in the rural area doesn't need to have a smartphone for her to buy that TV from an urban center not far away from there. That shows you that the lack of connectivity is not necessarily a hindrance to digital marketing, and brands are waking up to this fact and partnering with the various ecosystems. And talking about e-commerce, we see some strong trends in terms of brands advertising on these platforms and starting to actually become very aggressive, because with COVID-19, e-commerce became the default shopping stop for most individuals, much more than before, even in places where this was not necessarily the first instinct. So we are likely to see a strong growth trend within the e-commerce ecosystem, and also we are likely to see more brands using these platforms as advertising and partnership opportunities for their growth. And speaking of e-commerce enablers, we also see mainstream and large platforms such as Facebook, Google, Instagram, and others trying to tap into the massive market of small and medium enterprises, especially the micro informal sector companies. We can't call them companies, we would call them entities. Since they're in the informal sector, they were for a long time left out of the digital ecosystem. But now, with initiatives such as Google for My Business, a local shop can actually list their business online and be able to be in the digital ecosystem. This has implications for them as a mini brand, as a micro brand, but also for mainstream brands, because these businesses are then able to engage with other ecosystem players. And this is a strong trend to watch for all the players involved in the economic ecosystem of any country. And finally, when we look at social media and what's happening in terms of brands, we see that brands are embracing partnerships with influencers who are themselves coming of age. We see them becoming much more sophisticated, much more professional, filming content with highly sophisticated equipment. Because of the revenues they are generating, they're able to hire teams that then make their work much more professional. So this is a trend that is likely to even grow stronger over the coming months, given that it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. And this also may be fast-tracked by the fact that many people are consuming more and more content online. Why is that? It's because there is more choice now, and we see that there is a strong trend of preference for emotional and personalized content, but also short-form content. When you look at some of the most trending types of content categories, we see that Reels on Instagram are doing extremely well. We see TikTok growing at an astronomical speed, and this is not likely to slow down. These are global trends, but it's interesting that they are even faster in some parts of Africa, just because of the fact that mainstream media has probably never been as entrenched in some of those areas, and these social media platforms are the new sources of content that many communities are getting, and they are leaping straight from having no access to media straight to digital media. And these are some of the strong trends that we are observing and that are likely to stay very strong over the coming months.